What you doing, Louie? We're gonna give Louie an almond or two. Let's give him two. Oh, snap. But he's gonna take the first one and run. Watch. Watch. Bye, Lou. And then while I'm rat sitting, I like to put one on top of his hammock so that he finds it later and is so happy that he has another nut. Breakfast protein. This is a protein that I used. It is plant-based powder. I get this from Costco, or I got this from Costco. I don't have a Costco card. I just hop on when my parents go, so just gotta use them till their last drop, right? Anyway, this is really good. I don't really have anything to compare it to, but I actually think it tastes really good, so. Okay. Bravo. Pat on the back. I had no idea it was gonna fit perfectly like that. That's the first time that's ever happened. Filming holds me accountable. Keeps me healthy. I think this is what's kind of driving me crazy. It's like no matter where I put it, it curves back into my eye. I have that song by Chris Brown, Grass Ain't Greener, stuck in my head. I can't get it out. I don't know how well you can see, but this jacket has been a lifesaver. I love it. I've been wearing it all the time. Excuse the messy, dirty clothes in the background. But also because it covers what I need it to cover. Okay, this contrast. Are you getting sick? Are you getting sick? When I moved out of my parents, forgot it existed. My dad found it. He was like, take this, take your guitars, take all your stuff, get it out of our house. Love you, Dad. Yesterday ended up being a weird day because, Nola's right here. Because, so my sister wasn't feeling good. So I hung out with my sister and her friend. My sister wasn't feeling good, and then I wasn't really feeling my best because I hadn't eaten a whole lot yesterday, but then it got to a point where I just kind of I was so hungry, I wasn't that hungry. So when I ate, I only ate a little bit, and then it just was like rainy, and we couldn't find any of the Halloween stuff we really wanted. So it kind of, yesterday it was still fun, but it just wasn't like a normal day. Butters is just running down the hall. So I didn't end up filming last night, or not filming, but vlogging. And then last night when I came home, I just watched TV. Like I just watched Scream Queens, American Horror Story, finished up with Basketball Wives because I needed something to take my mind off American Horror Story. Wow, Butters. Look at you, you big killer. You caught a pen. You gonna put it down for mommy? What you doing with the pen? Okay. You gonna put it down? You gonna put it down? Okay. Good boy. I'm so used to using the wrong foundation shade that a right foundation shade seems too dark. But is it a little orange? This is probably not the best lighting, but it's natural lighting, so hey. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I used the the Kat Von D Lock-It foundation. So I used the Lock-It foundation in focus or not in the color, oh gosh, there's no way it's gonna focus on that, but it's in 57 medium. It's also upside down. So I got 57 medium. I think that's a new shade, but I'm not entirely sure. The woman at Sephora basically told me that a lot of them can kind of look gray on darker skin tones, and although I am not the darkest skin tone, so that makes me really worried for other women of color that are a lot darker than me. Besides the point, I was glad that she told me that because she, you know, got me with a warmer shade, and she kind of was just like, well, it's gonna be a lot better for you than the lighter shade because it's just gonna end up looking gray. So I don't wanna look gray, I don't wanna look sick. I'd rather look orange than gray. So hopefully no more ghost face. I might have to mix a little bit of this in if this is a little too dark, but it might match. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, I need to get my butt out the door, so I'm gonna get dressed and just like make a small list, charge this camera because it's at 22%, because my life is all about batteries dying. You have such big feet. Okay. All right. That's a little priceless. Look at the tail. I also moved my desk in here because I don't know. I just don't know what I'm doing with my house. Can we look? Those are mushrooms. And so are those in my bag. Those ones are dying. And there's more behind this pink bush. My neighbor says it's because the previous owners that moved in, or the previous owners that were here before I moved in, they had got new grass. Struggles. And just as background knowledge, I loathe mushrooms. They are the scum of the earth to me. They are disgusting. Their textures are disgusting. The way they juice when you try to knock one over is disgusting. It's a fungus. I'm not okay with it. And I know most people are probably like, there's a lot of worse things that you can do than eat a mushroom or be near a mushroom. And I totally agree. That does not mean that I still would like to be near one. When I was younger, my sister and I, we used to have these huge mushrooms in our old house when we were kids. And so we would like kick them over and like play with them and stuff. And it was like, there was like one time where like it haunted me and I can't let it go. So ever since I was a kid, I've just hated them. I just think that they're like rubber. I get the chills thinking, but they're rubbery and like the texture, it's like beehives. I also don't like beehives because of that texture. My skin's crawling. I can't talk about it anymore. For the record, for anyone who thinks I'm weird, never said I was normal. So I have a slight problem. Let's get into a different area of my house so it doesn't seem like I'm always in one area. I went to a grocery store near my house, which is a grocery store I really don't like going to. Normally I'll drive further for another one, but this time I was like, I just need a few things, especially like laundry detergent and dryer sheets and household. Okay. Hey guys, so I tried talking about this a little bit earlier, but my camera died on me because I actually accidentally left it on the whole time I was at the store. Okay, so I don't like going places by myself. I just don't like it. I get a lot of anxiety about it because the weirdest things happen to me and I just get really uncomfortable. So I went to this grocery store by my house and I don't like going to that grocery store for the reason that there's just a lot of strange people there, and I'm normally okay with strange people, but I don't like people that will just, when you get a weird vibe from people, and that grocery store is a weird vibe. And when I was in a relationship, I would force that person to come to the grocery store with me all the time, but now I don't have anyone to force to go with me, so it's just me. A lot of times I will have people come up to me and they'll ask me to use I don't even have my phone out, but they'll ask me to use my phone, or if I'm using it as with my headphones, then they'll ask me to use it. And today, there was this sweet, sweet, sweet black lady. She was so sweet. And she was, whatever she was gonna say. First of all, she said hi. And I was putting all my things into my trunk, and I was thinking to myself, I got away with it. No one did anything weird to me. So then she approaches me and she says hi. And I just said hi. And then she says, I'm a child of God. And I said, okay, hi. I'm not a super religious person, but, cool. You're a child of God. I respect that. That's what's up. And I just thought it was strange that that's how she kind of approached herself, as if she was trying to make herself seem very trustworthy. She says, I'm a child of God. I said, oh, great. How are you? Like, first of all, stop asking questions, Lacey. You don't really care because this is someone who just randomly walked up to you next to your car and is just staring at you like, hi. But she was very sweet and I didn't want to be rude to her. And she all of a sudden just started kind of getting into this backstory. First, she prefaced it by saying, my daughter, who is sweet and beautiful and happy and smiley, and all these words that she used to describe me, just like you. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, great, thank you. So she was saying that her daughter and her daughter's boyfriend had gotten into this domestic violence thing, and now they're both locked up, and so she's taking care of her grandbabies. And it was either 2 or 3, I can't remember. And, you know, in situations like that, you really feel for people. But then there's other things that kind of weird you out. Like, number one, how elaborate her story was and how well rehearsed it seemed. And maybe she's just told it a few too many times, but it just seemed like if you need something, just ask. And the backstory for someone like me is just not going to go anywhere. And I don't know. This is what was weird about it, is that she was roaming around the parking lot, right? Like, she wasn't sitting outside the door like Boy Scouts would, or at the entrance or exit. She was roaming the parking lot of the store. And she had this big poster board that kind of looked like a big envelope, like maybe something was inside it, and it had words on the front, but she had it facing her, so I couldn't read it. I at first thought it was a poster that was, you know, one of those like repent or go to hell type of things, just because of the way that she originally approached me by saying like, I'm a child of God. So then she says that one of the things that she's doing is she's selling artwork for money because she needs to take care of her grandbabies. And I was honest with her, and I just said, I wish you a lot of luck, but I've got to get home and I've got to get started on my homework. Like, me being at the store right now is not, it's a big deal. I've got so much of it, and I don't know. It's so weird because it felt like such an entitled thing to say. Like, I have homework, but like, luckily I have homework because I'm fortunate enough to go to college. And it was just kind of a weird response, but it's the first thing that's spilled out of my mouth. And she, you know, was very like, oh, thank you, and God bless you, and have a great day. And then, but so as I'm talking to her, there was another woman that crossed the street, like jaywalking, not a bit, I don't care about jaywalking, but I'm just saying that she had just crossed the street. She didn't give two, you know what's about a sidewalk or a walkway, or what is that called? Crosswalk. And so she crossed the street and just started going right into the grocery store, but she was going past the parking lot. And the woman I was talking to waved at her and smiled. And this other person, like, did not look well. Like, didn't look trustworthy and didn't look okay. So you just gotta be very careful on what you're choosing to give people and what kind of information you're choosing to give people. And I didn't have any cash on me if that's what she wanted, but I didn't even want to give her that option because if it was any type of debit card situation, I didn't want her to have any information. I didn't want her to have any information. And then once this other girl walked by and she saw her and waved at her, the girl that was walking into the store looked kind of at her as if like, yes, we've got another one. But, and also just when she looked at me, I felt like she looked into my soul and was kind of like you're a chosen one. I don't know. And this is me. Like, I totally am making these situations more dramatic in my own head because I always think that people are out to get me. I don't know if I've ever talked about that on my channel, but I've had this paranoia that people are always out to get other people and that no one's ever really doing anything because they're genuine. I know that sounds really mean, but that's just how I feel. So I was kind of like, don't give this person any more time of your day. So as I was walking back, she was just like, where do you go to school? And I told her I went to school. Because, you know, with my school, there's multiple of the schools. And she said, well, you know, have a great day and blah, blah, blah. And then I waved to her when I left. But I just don't understand it. Like, seriously, the weirdest stuff happens to me when I'm out in public and when I'm out, like, by myself. When I'm with other people, this kind of stuff doesn't happen. So my mom and I have kind of made it a thing where Mondays, we're now gonna go grocery shopping with each other because she doesn't like grocery shopping alone. And I don't like grocery shopping at all, but also alone. So we're gonna go together now because it's just, there's just weird people all around. And my neighbor, like, you know, bless her soul, but she's also somebody that is very invasive and likes to come into my space. And when our house got broken into, she immediately darted for our backyard and was like, oh my gosh, what window did they come through? And my ex and I at the time were kind of just like, we didn't say anything to her. And I do this to a fault, but I wanted to say, our privacy just got invaded, and you are continuously invading our privacy. Like, look at you. So, you know, she's always next door, and she'll come into my yard while talking to me. Today I was on the phone talking to Maddie about what had just happened at the store, and my neighbors, this doesn't sound bad on the surface, but once you, because I know the things I know about my neighbor and the type of person she is, she sat there and waved at me while I'm on the phone, and I have groceries in my other hand. She sat there and waved at me until I looked at her. It was a long time. This was not like, and then I looked and waved, and then she put her hand down. It was like obnoxiously, and again, a super nice neighbor and somebody that doesn't, you know, invade your space and give you unsolicited dating advice when you're not even dating anybody, doesn't come walking into your yard, doesn't come into on your property and look through your windows when you're not there, or when they don't think you're there, I should rephrase that. And someone who looks in my backyard when I'm in there and doesn't know that I see them, but the person that I'm with sees them. Someone like that, when they sit there and go like this to get your attention until you look at them, is an obnoxious person. We're talking about somebody that is retired at a fairly young age and has lots of animals, and raccoons. If you guys have seen me complain on Snapchat about the amount of raccoons that are in my yard, for the most part in the summertime, and the rats that I sometimes have in my backyard. I'm not afraid of rats, so I don't really care in that sort of way, but I just don't want them to get under my house and things like that. But I don't really give them a reason to stay in my yard. They come in my yard because they're my neighbor's yard for multiple reasons that I just don't even want to get into right now. So, you know, when you live next to somebody like that, your patience and your tolerance for other people like that, it's very low. So when I see people like that at the store, I'm like, so I think I need to, here's my theory. Perhaps if I get a shirt that says, "Do not talk to me," perhaps that will work. What are you looking at? What's down there? Can mommy see? Oh my god, you guys, it's a piece of fur. There is a spider. Oh, it's done. I'm seeing little teeny tiny spiders around my house. They're very small. Cleaned out my closet yesterday and I found 2 spiders that were big. One was dead and one was alive. Scary. Okay, love you. Bye.
That's the way every day goes. Every time we've no control. If the sky is pink and white, if the ground is black and yellow, it's the same way.